only by the. Okay. So the core construction of knowledge mirrors the shift from provider center to receiver center. That means we are going to shift our focus from the teacher center to student center. Okay, that is a point. And also doctor centered to patient centered care. So we always going to focus on the end user or consumer or customers or the beneficiary of our services. So in our education system, the students are the receivers. So we are going to focus on the receiver centered care through this concept. And finally, quality assurance, because you have to enhance the quality of you have to enhance the quality assurance and enhancing the quality education through better curriculum design and pedagogical practice. And we all go through accreditation process. We all go through the assessment, and we all go through the quality improvement. Like every year, we will be talking about how to improve the quality for the next year. So for that, we need to have a better curriculum design and pedagogical practices. Here, the pedagogical practices, I mean, like the way how we teach, whether it should be all lectures or all PBL or all case studies, and that kind of stuff. Okay. So for that, we need SAP, the student as partner concept. And again, when it comes to healthcare is shifting towards collaborative patient-centered care nowadays. And we educators must mirror this by co-creating learning with the students. Then we have to build readiness for the real world interprofessional teamwork. So whenever we teach our students, we always think, are these students work ready? Even though they learn from the classroom, even though they learn from the textbooks, even though they pass the examinations by just practicing questions, are they really ready for the real world practice? Okay. So for that, we need to have focus on SAP, and also SAP encourages reflective lifelong learning, critical for healthcare professionals. Okay. That is why we need students as partners. I'm not sure why. Okay. All right. So the impact. What are the impact? First of all, the engagement. Students feel ownership. The moment you engage the students as partner, they feel ownership and they feel more responsible. That boosts their motivation and commitment. And second is the stronger learning outcomes. The moment you engage the students, the learning outcomes are going to be stronger, and they'll be able to understand the things deeper, and also they are going to develop their critical thinking. Then it will also improve their learning experience. We in a university, we always focus on how we can improve the students' learning experience. Okay. So the concept of student as partner will definitely improve the student experience. And pedagogical shift is not something like I say, you listen. So now we are going to ask the students, what do you want? Okay. So these are things, and the key benefits are enhanced student engagement and ownership, improved academic performance. In fact, when they are going for the deep learning, their academic performance will be directly improving, and development of their professional skills such as communication, how to communicate with your lecturers or other professionals. Then you can also develop your leadership skills and teamwork skills. And then more importantly, the curriculum relevance and responsiveness also will be improved using this SAP concept. Okay, so it's all good. Was it easy? Is it easy? No, it's not. So we have practical challenges. For example, the traditional power dynamics. We all know that there is a hierarchy in academic setting. Okay, wherever you go, there is some hierarchy in the academic culture, and they may view the students as passive recipients rather than contributors. We usually won't think that the students can contribute, Okay, so this power imbalance between staff and student is always existing. That is one of the practical challenges to implement student as partner concept in higher education. Then the second thing is organizational resistance. Okay, the institutions like they are not ready to accept this concept, and there is a rigid curricula that can limit the flexibility for meaningful student impact or student input. Then there is the academic culture resistant to change. In my practice, I never do this. For the last 20 years, I'm doing like this. This is how I do things. That is one of the issue here. And then varied perceptions of partnership. When the moment I mentioned partnership, you may think differently, I may think differently, and the students may think differently. So the perception really, even though we say perception is not the reality or perception is reality, the varied perception is one of the issues to implement student as partner concept. Both staff and students may lack clarity or confidence in what partnerships look like, and leading to tokenism or misaligned expectations. And sometimes there is an unclear expectations or understanding of what is partnership. What do you mean by partnership? How can I partner with students? Okay, that kind of questions. Then obviously there is a lack of training, both for the student side and the staff side. And more importantly, the time constraint. We are all busy, you know, we're all busy and we need to focus on this means we need to spend some more time. So time constraint is one of the practical challenges to implement student as partner concept. So for me, this is the starting point, like why I started all these things. First of all, I'm a practitioner. I'm a pharmacy practitioner and also a teaching practitioner. I teach pharmacy, and also my specialization is pharmacy practice. And then I'm an insider. I'm an academic. I'm working for the organization. I'm working for the university. And also, fundamentally, I'm a researcher. So these three concepts like practitioners, insiders, and researchers, as these characteristics just made me to think how well our curricula reflects those same values, especially when it comes to involving students meaningfully. So this is a question I don't have the answer. Even now, I don't have the answer. But I was trying to find out the answer through the student as partner. So for this curiosity has led me to do a research. The objective of my curiosity is to understand how involving students in shaping their learning environment might better prepare them for the realities of modern team-based healthcare. Okay, that is the point what I was thinking, like, what kind of research we need to do on this. Okay. Then we have a structural approach. Our team had a structural approach. First, we wanted to know the student perception, what the students are thinking about student as partner. And then in student and as partner, what is the role in pedagogy and curriculum? Okay, how much students can play a role in deciding on the teaching methodologies and deciding on the content. Usually the universities will follow the kind of specific guidelines given by the medical association or pharmacy council. In that case, how much we can involve our students to design the curriculum, and whether we have empowered our students or excluded. These are the questions we had. And what does SAP means to them? If we talk about implementing student as partner, what does it mean to them? They may ask, yeah, you're saying something, so what? So then what are the practical outcomes and what are the barriers and how to make SAP possible? And we wanted to take a small step in a long journey. So with that, we come up with the research. Here, I can share some of my research questions for the small projects which I did. What are the challenges of pharmacy students? As I mentioned earlier, I'm a pharmacy lecturer, so I focused on pharmacy students only. So what are the challenges of pharmacy students in integrating the student as partner approach in pharmacy education? And what opportunities do pharmacy students have in integrating the students as partner approach in pharmacy education? And how do pharmacy students perceive their involvement and partnerships in curriculum design and pedagogy? So these are the three research questions I got. And then we did a qualitative research. We invited our pharmacy students, and then we have conducted a kind of some one-on-one discussions, and we have a kind of set of questions to ask, and we got ethical approval for this research, and then we have recorded all their opinion and feedback, then transcribed, then we had a thematic analysis, and the qualitative methods. We have done all these things, and then we got some themes. First theme was focusing on student involvement in curriculum design. The second theme was the perceived benefit of a partnership, what they thought about partnership. And the third, challenges in partnership. What are the things? It's all students' perception, What are the challenges they felt that they have a challenge in SAP concept, and also suggestions for improvement from the student side, and then impact on academic performance. So these are the 5 different themes we got based on our qualitative studies. The first theme focused on feedback, how much the students are providing feedback, and how much the decision-making power they have, and what are the communication channels they have in the university. The second theme, the perceived benefit for, it has given some ideas about enhanced learning. They said that the students as partner may enhance their learning, and they also mentioned the relationship between the teacher and student will be improved. And they mentioned that they feel they can develop personally if they implement the concept. And when it comes to the challenges, according to the student perception, even though they have a kind of proper communication channels like the module feedback, or the student evaluation of module, or student evaluation of teaching, feedback on the teaching, or feedback on the lecturers, still they find that there is a communication issue. There are some communication issues. And second thing that mentioned, oh, it's another task to do, so it's a time constraint. And how to improve? When we ask them how to improve, they said to have a regular meetings and ongoing support, and also to establish a clearer communication channel. It's not something like the monotonous or dynamics, where without the dynamics only the students will come and say something for the sake of saying. The lecturers also will listen for the sake of listening. No, they don't want that kind of things. They want to have a clear communication channels for a better engagement. And then they thought that the impact, the positive impact on academic performance. They said if we have student as partner concept, it is going to influence their academic performance, and also it will increase their motivation, and also they can improve their skills. These are the things they mentioned. All right. So this is a research article what I was talking so far. You can find this article online, which is open access now. The university has supported us to publish this paper as open access with a kind of agreement with elsewhere. So empowering students in curriculum design and pedagogy. We focused on the perception of pharmacy students as partner. It's a small qualitative studies with about 11 to 12 students altogether. Most of them are the M-Form year. So you can read this article later. And if you get any questions from this, please feel free to ask me later. And now let's focus on the discussion points. Okay. So this is the kind of heart of this talk. I don't want to engage, just deliver like a didactic lecture for you. You all, you're all the experts, subject experts, and you're all the experienced teachers, and the students. Maybe you are in the education system for more than 18 or 20 years now. So now the thing is, if students redesign one part of the course tomorrow, what would they change? Are they going to change the topics or the pedagogy, the lecture? How much the students like the teaching modalities like PBLs, case studies, and sometimes we'll say, if I get a chance, I will do this, I'll do that. So if the students redesign your course tomorrow, what would they change? That is the point.
Students are here. The students are here in the participants.
Oh, that is fantastic. And
So,
maybe students
can we ask the students for their responses?
Yeah. Hi, students, and thank you so much for joining with us. So if you have a chance to redesign one part of your course, one part of your module or program, what would you change? But Sami, you can see the text messages in the chat box.
Yeah, I can read. I opened it up. So you can, if you don't want to unmute and talk, you can write down on the chat. I'll read it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can
Good
unmute
evening.
yourself and talk.
Yeah, somebody is talking. Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am.
Good
Sir,
evening.
while this is a very loaded question, and all of us understand that we cannot change any course or any method of learning in a day, but I think probably the biggest change I would want to make is to reduce the slides or the projector or PowerPoint based
Okay.
method of teaching.
Okay.
Because as you mentioned, it is very one way.
Yeah. So
Yes.
there is always a challenge with didactic lecture. So it's all about like how many percentage of didactic lectures you have. In fact, we received feedback from many of the students here. They don't like to listen. In fact, now we are living in the era of reels and TikToks. Of course, TikTok is not there in India, and even the reels and other stuff. The span of the video is like maybe less than 1 minute. So when
Yes,
we use
yes.
all these things, we don't want to listen like 45 minutes or 1 hour. Okay. In fact, in our school, we decided not to engage the students more than 40 minutes in a class. The next 20 minutes, let them ask questions or discuss. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I totally understand your point. Thank you so much for the response. So you don't like
Yes,
the
sir.
pictures and PowerPoint slides, especially
Yes.
I literally hate the kind of 45 or 60 slides for a 1 hour lecture. Am I right?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
sir. That is a big, it's a task to keep myself occupied throughout the lecture.
And also, if you notice my slides, I don't want to fulfill my slides with all the text. That also I don't like. So
Yes.
yeah, that's one thing. I really ask my
Hmm.
colleagues, the fellow teachers to focus. Please don't put so much of words. Bullet point
Okay.
meant for only one word. Later, we, the lecturers, have made as one sentence. Then the students started making as one paragraph now. Yeah,
Okay. Hey, wait. There's one more comment from Mahika. Wait.
yeah,
Mahika is also a final year medical student in our institute.
yeah.
I would also reduce the information overload in lecture,
Good. Yeah.
especially didactic lectures. Maybe reduce the lecture times or give appropriate breaks similar to what was just discussed.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yes.
Thank you so
So
much for the
that's
feedback.
also a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we totally understand your world. It's very difficult to sit and listen. Even if you're going for a movie, it's not like one person will be talking like 45 minutes. There are a lot of characters, a lot of scenes. There is a music involved. There is some emotions. So in some way, in the teaching, we started missing all this kind of bonding between the teacher and student, and we made the kind of lectures a bit boring. Yeah, that is one of the things. Yes, we have to focus. Now, imagine a student serving in your curriculum committee. What concerns would you raise that haven't been voiced yet? Maybe in this question also, the previous answers covered some part of the things. So maybe this is for the teachers. Imagine a student serving on your curriculum committee or curriculum review committee. What concerns would they raise according to you? Now it is about the teacher's perception. Okay, you as a teacher, you as an educator, what do you think? Apart from the didactic lectures and the longer duration of teaching and more number of slides and most of the content packed in a single slide, apart from that, what else you think your students may voice it out?
I think Hiral has already posted here.
Yeah.
I would like to suggest that newer technologies and teaching methods like using AI should be incorporated in our studies.
Okay. Yeah, it's like ambitious suggestion incorporating AI. In fact, we started using AI in our daily life now, isn't it? And I heard a news that one of the students, I don't know from where, they said that we don't want the lecturers to use AI.
Yeah. They have asked for the refund of tuition fees.
Yeah. So that is one thing. But again, how ethically and professionally we have been
Right.
we are going to use AI tools, and whether we have been trained to use AI appropriately. Okay, these are the points. Okay, yeah, AI is going to make a lot of difference in education. Yeah, thank you so much for this. We need to focus a bit more, and I'm sure the students are also started using AI now. Am I right?
Okay, now students are sort of taking the stage.
Yeah.
So can we hear from the lecturers or the professors who are present here? How would you feel if your students suggest something like this, what they have just told? How would you take it, or how do you react? I see there are quite a few professors on the floor. Dr. Suman Singh, Dr. Hemlata, Dr. Prasun Priya. So how would you all take it? Intermittent feedback from students by Dr. Prasun. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Intermittent.
Should we talk or should we write?
Anything. You can talk, because it's a very small group, so you can
Yeah.
talk. No problem.
Okay, I think it should be like a two partner system.
Yeah. It's a two-way
One,
communication. Yeah, I totally understand your point. Yeah.
it's like uniform. There should be a like teacher should be enabled himself or herself to cater the requirement, and that should be done on that point, custom made. If this group of student is needing this part, so
Yeah.
we need to explain that part. That same content may be delivered to the other group of student in a different format. So it requires adjustability, customization of the content delivery.
Okay, that's fine. That's good idea. That's a good idea. So
That,
before,
that that
yeah.
should be the way, and at the same time, that customization should be the responsibility of the students will be like, yes, I am accepting it, or we are understanding it, we are accepting it, and it is going to be used.
Hmm.
That type of interaction I am trying to
That's a good
highlight.
point. Okay, that's a good point. Like, we are, I think you're moving towards a personalized learning environment. Am I right? Yeah. So,
Maybe,
Sort of,
maybe
sort of.
personally, but it will be like I am talking about even in classes.
yeah,
Sometimes we find that like we explain some concept,
yeah.
and then we tell some people that okay, it means we ask them that did you get this point?
Mhm.
They some will be like even though they don't mention, but we being experienced, we understand with their faces that yes, they got it, or no, they are not, they didn't get.
Yeah,
Then we try to different. But here I am trying to say that there will be different types of students
yeah, understand.
where personalization will be coming, but at the same time, it not necessarily like as the students they have mentioned that
Mhm.
when it is when we are talking about a particular topic in a content which maybe somebody maybe in a PowerPoint format, that PowerPoint format is good for us. We
Mhm.
understand all because already the concept behind that PowerPoint, that picture or that diagram, we know. But
Yeah.
for a student, here I would suggest that if the PowerPoints can be made in a frame by frame,
Mhm.
how that PowerPoint or that diagram has been derived. When
Yeah.
we explain a curve or a graph,
Mhm.
if we explain that how that graph has been framed or formed or created, but on the basis of real life data, something like that, then the student can understand the concept and
Yeah.
remember the concept better. That is what my suggestion.
That's good. So you're just talking about the kind of the reasons why we mention and the background, like how we develop this concept. Yeah, that is going to really help them. That's a good point. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll just add a little bit to Prasoon's point.
Yeah. Yes, that's me.
There is a system which is called delivered by bytes,
But
bite
okay.
size, micro
Right.
learning,
Nice. Micro learning. Yeah.
bite size. That means you give them in the way that they can bite and digest.
Yeah.
Don't,
Yes,
I
yes.
think this also was mentioned by one of the students who
Okay.
said that either you give us breaks,
Yeah.
Mahika, you told this, right? Either you give us breaks or you bring down the load.
Yeah.
Yes. So
That's a
that
good
is
point.
what is called micro learning.
Yeah.
That
That's good.
depending on each learning outcomes, you have one frame.
Yeah.
And subjects, particularly like physiology, biochemistry, pathology, pharmacology, pharmacy, wherever you have explanations of a mechanism of action or stuff like that,
Mhm.
there you must have a system of explaining bit by bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is very important.
Yeah. Even if in our previous university we mentioned that in a 1 hour lecture you don't have you should not have more than 4 or 5 learning outcomes. If you
Yes,
say 4 or 5 learning outcomes, you make it as like 4 or 5 parts. So after every part, you just stop and assess their understanding by asking 1 or 2 questions in a quiz format or yes or no type.
absolutely.
Then that is going to help you to learn, understand whether the students have learned or grasped the kind of idea concept you delivered. Yeah, that is one of the things. Okay. So now, the third one is about teaching innovation.
So this will be for the lecturers only.
I think one of the reasons
Students
teaching
can only
innovation,
comment.
yeah, how could you have brought students into the process earlier? Okay, first of all, is our system allow us or encourage us to do teaching innovations, especially when you are all busy with teaching, research, much practice, and especially for the medical doctors, you will be doing the bedside teaching as well and the classroom teaching as well. So, have you got any sort of teaching innovations in the recent time? And how could you have brought students into that process earlier? Any ideas? If there is nothing, no problem. You can think about it for the future. So I'm not sure like how much teaching, even in the last 2, 3 years, I'm not doing much teaching innovation projects. In the past, we used to do like every year we come out with
Yeah,
one.
every year we used to, and we used to have trophies with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I introduced here this near peer learning, teaching.
Mhm.
Which was the batch? Bangshika, did you have this experience?
No, ma'am.
Where the senior students came and taught you?
No, ma'am. We did not
Pallav is
get
not
that.
here, so Pallav would have been able to tell. So what I did was,
Yes.
the students from third year, I think the group of Rutam Vaishnav and this group, third year, they came to first year to teach spinal cord injury.
Okay.
So that was very well taken, and it came out as a publication as really good stuff. So I consider that as an innovation, actually.
Okay, that's fine.
That
That's
is
fine.
how things are done. Many people are doing, but the issue is that whether they are telling that, yes, I have done this or not.
Okay,
In,
guys.
in
Okay.
our institute, we have a peer mentor.
Okay, peer mentor. Okay. Yeah.
Like senior students, they mentor the junior student, not in the form of a classroom lecture,
Yeah.
but in the form of like throughout the journey. From the first year, because this they have some psychological modification. They have to come from a textbook learning to a professional learning. That modification, so to help them, we have this peer mentor system, which will be like under guidance of a young teacher, a senior student, and a group of junior student.
Okay, that's fantastic. All right. So something is going on, but as Dr. Sami mentioned, like we are not telling like what we are doing. So I strongly encourage everyone to write something, publish somewhere, make the world know that what we are doing. All right. So let's talk about the strategies for, we have, Dr. Sami, we have how much time we have left?
I think here we have about 15 minutes, but we
15
can
minutes,
extend
okay.
it by 10 more minutes because we
Yeah.
started late.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to the strategies for the sustainable partnerships, when you look at this, how to begin with small core design projects. So this is the point where I just want you all to focus. When it comes to strategies for sustainable partnership, it's not like a one-day event. You have to maintain the partnership for a long time. Like for example, if the students are coming into the year 1, we need to maintain at least 3 or 4 years. So how to begin with the small core design projects? And this is what we need to focus. And how can we embed SAP into governance structure? For example, curriculum committees cannot allow the students to sit in. So the university has to come out with a plan whether we allow the student representatives to be in the curriculum committees. In fact, in our university, we have a kind of, in our previous university, we had the student representatives in the curriculum and assessment committee. They will come and share their experience.
In our university here, Bhaikaka University, we have.
We have. So that means the governance structure will allow them. That is good practice. And then we need to focus on how to provide mentorship, training, and recognition. In fact, earlier, our colleague mentioned that the young lecturers and senior students will be joining with the junior students.
Yeah.
So they'll be doing mentorship. Are we giving training to our students on like how to mentor, how to guide the juniors? That we need to focus. And how can we use feedback loops? Okay, may I know like what kind of feedback loops we have in your university? In our system, we have like the students evaluation on module, and every semester we have 2 to 3 student staff forum. In that forum, the student class representatives will come and talk about what's going wrong and what's going right, and what kind of problems they face and what kind of benefits they are getting. So that kind of feedback loops we have. So do we have any sort of feedback loops in your university?
Dr. Suman, are you still there? Dr. Suman? She's the feedback representative for the medical college.
Okay, that
So,
means there is a
if
feedback
she is
representative.
there, yeah, I can see her online, but I think
Yeah,
she's muted.
yeah. That's
So
fine. So these are the things we need to focus
can
when
you
we
share?
want to. Okay, that's fine.
Never mind, I'll do it because I am the head of the feedback committee.
Okay.
So I can do it. So what happens is the same thing as you were telling, but we don't have module wise because ours is a total curriculum base.
Understand?
So what we do is in the mid-term, after 6 months, we take feedback on all the subjects like anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, and then at the end of the year.
Okay.
Sarmishta, I am here
Acha,
and
but
I was
bolo na bhai,
unmuted,
फिर.
but I was not able to unmute myself.
Okay, I understood that. Okay, so I'll let Dr. Suman to explain it. Yeah, carry on.
We do try to close the loop. We do collect feedback at the end of the term or in mid of the year. We try and identify the major areas where students are experiencing problems and discuss with them that what are the things that are doable, what are the things probably are not in the scope of the means we cannot actually do anything about those. So we
Yeah.
do try to understand their experiences and find out the areas for improvement.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much
That
for
is what we are doing.
Okay, so when we say that, okay, when you say something you cannot do and something you can do, like how we are, what is the mechanism, like how we are communicating this one to the students back after the meeting?
We go to the class.
Okay.
We share the feedback comments, we collect the feedback, we analyze the comments, and major focus is on open comments which are given by students because other areas are just ratings. So we identify if there are areas where rating is given extremely poor. Otherwise, major focus is on open comments. We go discuss those comments, try to understand if we have understood their comments correctly or they intended to mean something else. And
Fantastic.
then we discuss that these are the things we have identified from your feedback. These are the actionable points, and these are the probable things we'll try and work upon.
So you will be closing the
So it
loop.
is face to face. Yes,
Yeah.
it is face to
That's great.
face.
Actually, the face-to-face is really a good attempt, Otherwise, if you make a document and ask them to read, sometimes they may not read. So that's a really, really good approach. And thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on that.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
thank
Yeah.
you. All right. So the next one is like we focus a bit more on framework for action. So if you really think about action, okay, whatever we talk, that is fine. But the real issue, the real impact is like the how we are going to make action, or how you are going to make things possible. So when we are framing when you are developing the framework for action, we need to focus on what are the roles and expectations of students as well as teachers when it comes to the student as partner concept, and how we can allocate time and resources, because we all know that the student schedule is fully packed and they'll be focusing on their exams and studies. And even I don't know whether they have enough time to go for a kind of sports or recreations during their studies, and how we can develop inclusive, culturally aware partnership models. So these are the things we need to focus a bit more when we develop framework, and how to monitor and evaluate impact over time. So these are the questions I have. It's not just not for the discussion, it's for you to think later after the presentation. Hey, if I'm going to develop a framework, and these are the things I'm going to focus and write. The roles and expectations from each stakeholder, and the time and resources, like how to allocate. We have to provide some guidelines as well. And then developing an inclusive and culturally aware partnership models. So not one size fits all. What I practice here in Malaysia may not be practicable in India, and what in your institution, if you practice something, it may not be applicable to the other institution. So it depends, So we need to focus on like how to develop inclusive, culturally aware partnership models, and then how to monitor and evaluate impact over time. So it's not something like a 1 week or 1 month. It has to be focused on like 3 years or 5 years and 10 years, and then we do. So it's something like a practice. So you will be doing, and we all know that the quality improvement is a continuous cycle. Like every cycle is going to improve. So we need to focus on all these things. This is just my ideas. So if you have something to add on, please feel free to add on here. Yeah.
Kanan, your presentation is over, right?
Yes, I think yes. That's all. I think
Okay, those other references, yes.
yeah. So
Okay.
then, of course, I don't. Okay, I can stop sharing here. If you
So,
notice, there is no thank you slide in my
no,
presentation.
it's okay. I mean,
Because we all know how to say thank you without the slide. So I stopped using the thank you slides in my presentations. So I think I covered with a given time. I think I've covered few key aspects. If you have any sort of feedback and discussions, you please feel free to share with us. We can learn something from you all.
yeah, side by side, the discussion also went on very well. Those questions that you had put in, and people were very freely answering and they were telling.
Yeah.
So now I open the floor for your perspectives or this thing. Take just 5 minutes or 7 minutes. We may not be able to entertain everybody on the floor, but some pressing questions, if you want to speak out or you want to have some idea from him, because he has practical experience, and you can ask that what would be mainly what are the challenges, right? Because I always trusted students very much, and I have never been let down by my students. And here also, I started introducing students in all these committees, the career development cell, in the feedback committee. I think we don't have any, but we need to put in some people there. We have started a science club where the students are teaching students about how to do research, how to write project proposals. Okay, so similarly, there are many more areas where we can actually partner with students. And I think Sonal had a point. Sonal, can you tell your point? You can unmute yourself. She had written that the best area to involve students are the lesson planning and the type of teaching learning activities they would like to have.
Yeah.
We have to give them some sort of responsibility that, okay, I'm going to teach you this. How would you like to be taught? And we should not be apprehensive. We should not think that they will say, no, don't have to teach. We can see the video and can learn. Nobody will say that on the face. That is the Indian students. Okay. So please go accordingly. And we have 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, and we can have a discussion open here. Dr. Hemlata, Dr. Puneet.
And now I'm reading the comments overall, I really like the way how
Yes,
you
they are
respond to
all
this
very
and,
enthusiastically
yeah.
they've written and they've expressed.
Yes.
Okay.
Madam,
Yeah.
hello.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Just one or two things. Uh, Dr. Kritika, right?
Yeah. We can see your thing glowing. Yeah, tell me.
So how? I mean, we have around 150 students when we are taking didactic lectures. So, do you think that quality and quantity both goes together?
Yes, Kanan.
Because
Okay.
only few students always ahead and participating, whereas the majority not. And suppose we do something innovative, so we require time, we require energy, we require manpower, many things. So
Yes.
only we can focus only one area or few areas, and then how we will able to complete the curriculum or the course or whatever.
Okay.
So that always, and another challenge is that faculty staff
Yeah.
turnover.
Yeah.
Suppose as a head of the department, I make sure that new faculties and gradually they train very well. But then the new one coming, so turnover basically, so goes and comes. So then after a few years, we feel very frustrating also that how much I have to keep track of all these things and how many times.
Okay. I totally understand the point. Like when you have 150 students, in fact, this is where we wanted to have something for everyone. In fact, in a class, not like all 150 students will be the same. Even in our case, we had like 200, around 190, 200 students in the class. So when we have larger group, we need to diversify our approach, and that is where we need to focus a bit more on inclusive methods, like how we can address everyone's, of course, we cannot address everyone's problem, but again, how to address the majority and also the minority. It's not just about majority. So when we talk about the student as partner, we have to collect people from each group, one or two, to be a kind of representatives from the group, whether it's a good student, whether you are going to decide based on the marks or their engagement or their interest. We need to listen everyone. That is what the inclusivity comes in. So when we practice inclusivity, yes, again, the quality and quantity, yeah, it like we don't want to see the bigger picture, like we don't want to implement everything at the program level. What we are aiming is to take a small step. Only is you start with your one lecture. You start with your first lecture.